Welcome guys to the Camera Star Show. Thanks for listening, guys. We're here today to talk about some baseball and some crazy situation about the baseball logic. And Hunter Newman's my co-host today, and also my special guest on us with us today is Lark Smith, the legend, the commentary. And guys, this has been a weird whole season of baseball. This never gonna get out of this craziness.
Doesn't look like it, that's for sure.
Are
Lark,
you
what do you
talking
think?
about the Rangers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't seem like anybody wants to win the American League West.
No, definitely not. I think I read the other day the Padres in the 90s were the worst team with the worst record to ever make the playoffs, and they were like 3 games over 500. I don't think whoever wins the West is going to be over 500.
It certainly doesn't look that way. I mean, the Astros don't seem to want to, and they've probably got the toughest schedule down the stretch. The Rangers can't seem to beat anybody in their division, and Seattle and the just won't take any control whatsoever. So it's pretty much between, it looks like the Astros and the Rangers, and the Rangers can't seem to put together 4 wins in a row.
The Rangers are frustrating, man, because they will go on like a little run and then they'll just fall apart again. And I don't, it's just frustrating. The whole division is, I guess. But I do think the Rangers probably have the best team, but I
Well,
don't know. I don't think any of the teams are going to do anything when they make the playoffs. So
at least you got
whoever wins the division.
you make
Yeah.
a run in September. The the Rangers' schedule seems to be somewhat in their favor, except they do have to play Tampa Bay along the way, which looks like one of the
Yeah.
best in the American League this year. So
Yeah. Tampa's been
see
good.
what happens.
Mhm.
And I mean, now that you got Seager back, now that some of the pitchers are starting to find their groove. You've got who's on the disabled list right now? Is one of the two? Is it Gore? Who's on the disabled list right now for the Rangers as far as their pitching staff? Did Bradford go back on the disabled list?
Yes,
I
he
think
is on
probably
the. He's
so.
on the DL. Degrom's not. Degrom pitched the other night, but he got hit around pretty good. I think he gave up
Like 12
4 or 5.
runs.
It wasn't 12, but it was a decent amount. But I mean, he's had a pretty good season. I mean, Degrom, I feel like we can count on him when it really matters. So we'll see.
But
So,
I think
Lark,
some
what
of the.
is your sorry,
Go ahead.
Lark, what is your like right now? I know you're not very positive for the AL, but who's you gonna make this big run? I mean, the Red Sox got hot through the mid of the season. We see the Yankees. Is these two gonna be in that playoff contention, and probably one of them might come out be probably the next round team going into it?
Well, it'll be a team from the American League East most likely that will make it to the World Series. But whoever it is, they're not going to beat either the Brewers or the Dodgers, whichever one of those gets there. I really like what the Brewers are doing right now, and the Dodgers. How do you bet against the Dodgers? Good grief!
You can't. They're loaded, but they haven't been playing that well. And I wouldn't count out the Cubs either, man. The Cubs have played some good ball this year as well. They're an exciting team as well to watch.
Yeah, I'm just
The
not
Reds
sure.
are pretty
I
low
really like
too.
that Pete Crow.
Not
I,
sure that.
I really like that Pete Crow Armstrong. He's one of my favorite players to watch.
Sure, yeah, but the pitching staff that Milwaukee's putting out there right now seems to be almost Dodger like. But the Dodgers have also had some injury problems. They've been bringing guys up from the minor leagues to kind of maintain. But once they get in the playoffs, it's tough to beat them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine beating the Dodgers in a 7 game series, but you never know. Baseball, Major League Baseball playoffs can be weird sometimes.
Yeah.
Now, Lark, you've been doing baseball for years. I know you've been doing a lot of broadcasting for baseball for years. What does it take to be a like not a so-so team, but be a better team along the stretch to get to the World Series?
pitching, 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 relief pitching. I mean, that's the name of the game in baseball. It's all about what's on the hill, and if you can hold a team to 2 runs, and your offense can at least get 3, you're going to win. And sometimes in those postseason games, especially when you get down to the fourth starter, you're going to need a bullpen that's pretty good because that's when you start getting a bunch of runs. I remember many years ago the Yankees lost a World Series to the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1960, and I think they outscored Pittsburgh in the 7 games of that series like 44-8. I mean, it was un- the games at the end
That's
won
crazy.
by a large margin, and then they lose that game 7 in the bottom of the ninth on that Mazeroski home run. So you never know what's going to happen in the postseason.
Right.
No, I do. I feel baseball is weird things can happen in the playoffs in baseball more so than other sports.
Yeah,
That's why they call it
but it's a
October.
fun.
Oh, it's super fun, man. And sometimes just teams get hot. You see that in baseball too, more than other sports. Teams just get hot. Even the Rangers, when they won the World Series in 23, I didn't think they were the best team that year, but they got hot at the right time and
Weren't
they
they?
won the whole thing. So
Weren't they a wild card team?
Go ahead, Lark.
I believe they were. Yeah, I think they beat Tampa in the first round that year, I believe. And then or it was Baltimore. They beat Baltimore in in the wild card round that year. Yeah, that was a fun year, man.
Mm.
Maybe it could happen again this year. You never know. I don't know, but I'm not counting on it this year, but you never know.
Uh, Lark, so let's talk about this. Do you have any chance to see maybe one of these guys from the AL or to play against one of these NL teams? I mean, we've seen before this year, everybody plays each other different times of the year, but what's so good between the ALs and NL leagues? I mean, just, vice versa is it the strength? Is it the players, or is just, the mind of the game, or
I don't know why, but it just seems
or
like the strength of baseball is in the National League. I don't know why the American League. I'm going to think that their pitch is not as good as it is in the National League. I don't know the fact that they've finally added the designated hitter to the National League has helped them quite a bit. But it just seems like the power of baseball resides in the National League right now. And I'm an American League fan.
Yeah, I believe the yeah, same here. I believe the NL's won what, four out of the last five World Series? Maybe five out of the last six.
Yeah, well, the Dodgers
Trying
have
to think
started a Yankee-like
if
dynasty.
that helps.
So,
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
and
yeah, the Dodgers have a big part in that.
yeah, and I've gotten to where I like to watch the Dodgers play quite a bit because Max Muncy's on the team. Max played at Baylor when I was doing the color for Baylor baseball, and know Max pretty well. And it's just fun to watch him. He's one of those utility players that can play anywhere. He can play first, second, third base. He can go to the outfield if need. Uh, for this particular year, he's hitting for better average than he has in the past couple of years, and he's still, hitting for power when they need it. And it seems like he really turns it on in the postseason. I just remember back in like 2012 when he was playing for Baylor, and Baylor went out to California to play UCLA at Jackie Robinson Field. Seemed like Max just had a field day when he was in Los Angeles. So I think maybe the weather or something in Los Angeles just suits Max perfectly because he had a great series for Baylor when they played at UCLA, and he's been doing very well for the Dodgers ever since he got there, moving down from Oakland. I don't know if the Bay Area was, toxic to him or whatever, but he has certainly flourished in Los Angeles.
Yeah, he's been a different player since he signed with the Dodgers. He's fun to watch. I like Muncy a lot.
hey, Nora, is
Um,
this when the year when the Bear went to the World Series? What year is that though, Art? You remember?
Now, the year that Baylor went to the World Series was 2005. They
Oh,
won the Big 12 championship in 2012, but got knocked out in the regionals, so they did not get to the World Series. But 2005 was the last year Baylor went to the College World Series.
Was David Murphy on that '05 team?
I believe he was. He and Josh Ford and well, take that back. I think Murphy may have already graduated. I think he was. I think he left his junior year in 2004, and I think it was the 2005 team after he left that they got to the World Series.
Yeah, Baylor had some fun teams in the early mid 2000s. That's for sure.
Is this when
Oh,
A-Rod
absolutely.
was in the was the coach
What
that
was that,
year?
Cameron?
Was Coach Rod
Steve Smith.
Coach Rod was the coach that year?
Steve Smith was the coach.
Oh,
Yeah,
Steve Smith. Okay.
Smith was there for about 20 years, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it was I think the 2013 season when they played the Big 12 postseason tournament in Tulsa as opposed to Oklahoma City. That they played Texas in the semifinals of the Big 12 tournament, and Baylor lost out to Texas. And not too long after that is when Baylor decided to go a different direction with their head coach.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
just feel like the program hasn't reached those levels since he left, unfortunately.
Well, I think Mitch Thompson can get them back to that level. He's fighting on two fronts right now. He's fighting a facilities war. He's doing what he can to upgrade Baylor's facilities to try to catch up with the other conferences around the nation, especially the SEC, where they've got great facilities at LSU
Yeah,
and
Mhm.
and Arkansas at places like that. He's trying to upgrade the facilities the best he can. That brings in recruits. And now with NIL, he doesn't necessarily have the NIL money that a lot of those SEC schools have to spend on
for
their.
sure.
So he's fighting an uphill battle. I think the ability to find the talent and the ability to coach that talent and make it work. But it's a tough road to hoe as far as from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, NIL's just changed so much the last
Yeah.
few years. It's going to take some get for any coach. It's going to take some getting used to, and you're just going to have to learn how to adapt and start living in this NIL world. But I think he can definitely do it. I think he's a really good coach. I mean, he had such great success at MCC, and I think he can do it. I'm hoping he can do it at least.
Yeah. Well, we see what relevance Texas Tech has become with Cody Campbell's money in football. So that tells us
Mhm.
NIL money can make a difference because it helps you go out and get those extra special players or keep players on your roster that extra special. I mean, Baylor had a shortstop that was a freshman All American that ended up transferring to Alabama because not Alabama, Georgia. They offered him more NIL money or offered his agent more NIL money, whatever the deal was. But Kobe Branch went over to Georgia and ends up in the College World Series playing for a national championship.
Yeah, I mean that's just the world that college. That's just what college sports are today. Unfortunately, I wish they would figure out a way to limit the transfers because it's like the Wild West this year. Just that you never know. I mean, guys going to a different school every year. Um, I feel like they do need to figure something out about the transfer portal. I don't like guys jumping school to school every year, but
Well,
So
it
there's
would be.
one.
I mean,
Go ahead, Cameron.
No, go ahead, guys. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is my solution to NIL and transfer portal is kind of what I did as a player. I had a scholarship to MCC. I did not feel like I fit in there. I decided to walk on at Texas Tech. I, put up my own money. I went out to Texas Tech. I walked on. I didn't make the team. I finished off at Baylor. I paid my way through Baylor to finish up there. That's where I went into broadcasting. Was on the campus radio. But I think if you're going to pay these players, then they need to spend the money on entering school. They have to pay their tuition, they have to pay their room and board, they have to pay all of those things that a normal student has to pay. Then in turn, we'll give you a job playing baseball for our ball club, for our college. I know
yeah,
that's
I'm with you on
Mhm.
that. Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
I would even it out.
So what happened this week? If you heard about all these old former Ole Miss players from football transferring going to a different college, in pro, Do you agree what they're doing with the all the Big 12s, SEC, maybe the ACC may do the same thing, is not let former players from their school going to NFL and then play like maybe a contract with the NFL teams and then come back to play for college. You think that's the right way to do it?
Well, first off, I think the United States judicial system needs to stay out of the rules of NCAA baseball
Right.
or NCAA period. I am a full believer
Yes.
that you have freedom of association, and that association has the right to make its own rules. If you don't like their rules, start up your own association. There's more football being played out there than just the NCAA. There's the NAIA. You can play junior college football. There's all kinds of places to play, but no, these players decide that because the money is in the NCAA, they're going to do what they can. They and their agents and their lawyers are going to do what they can to change the rules to fit their situation as opposed to what best suits the NCAA or Alabama or Ohio State or whoever. Now, I do like the fact that the conferences have attempted to kind of put a quabosh on some of this stuff with the 5-for-5 and
Mm,
some of the other rules they've got. But again, those are rules made by an association that somebody's going to probably challenge in court. And now that instead of the NCAA being in court against these people, it's going to be either the conferences or the schools themselves. So I mean, it's a litigious society that we live in nowadays. And I just wish the judges would have a little bit more forethought as to how many cans of worms they're opening with some of these rulings that they're making.
Yeah, well
are you-
said. No, I agree. I wish they would stay out of it. Absolutely. But
mm,
I don't agree with the professional guys that can't cut it in the NFL and then decide to come back to college.
yeah.
Like that kid this week, the tight end that got cut by the Browns and signed with LSU, I think one
Yeah.
day later. I think LSU actually signed two guys that were in NFL training camps
Hmm.
um, this week. So
Well,
I don't know. I don't think it's fair for kids that are already, I kind of had a spot, say, with LSU, and now it's going to be taken by a guy that was in the NFL 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I don't like it, but several conferences have come out and said they're not going to allow it. So
No,
hopefully it won't
I like the
I'm
fact
not
that the
really
either.
go on after this year.
I like the fact the conferences have stepped up and not just said, okay, the kid can't play. What they said was, if the school allows the kid to play, then the school is going to suffer these consequences. So they're
Right.
basically putting it on the school, putting it on LSU as to whether or not they will or won't play that. If the conference says you play them, you're going to get fined or you're going to lose ball games or have to forfeit games or something like that. Then guys like the LSU coach is going to have to rethink his
Kiffin,
Like Kiffin.
yeah.
paying these guys to come back and play
So
college.
I saw the Big 12 and the Big 10 said that today. Has the SEC made any comment on if they're going to punish the schools for
Yeah,
taking guys like that?
I ain't
yeah.
heard
The
I haven't
anything.
seen.
SEC,
They
Lark, did
did.
you hear anything?
Oh, okay. Cool.
the SEC and the Big Ten kind of took the
Cool.
first
I missed that.
Big 12,
Very
and
cool.
Okay.
ACC are following after. But again,
Good, good. Yeah.
Good.
No, I like that.
yeah,
Good. Yeah, I think there's, you see this is like why you want to go to a school that you signed for a contract for NFL. Then you would say, no, I don't want to. You just play one preseason game. You're always on the field, and then you're like, okay, well then let me wait for about a couple weeks that can take off, get a waiver, and then go to college that your former coach is there. I mean, that's not right for anything for college. I mean, that's just totally wrong.
yeah. Well, I can understand the viewpoint of the player and his agents or whoever that they're going to try to go wherever the money is. And right now with NIL, if you can't make the the NFL, kind of all my acronyms mixed up here. If you can't make
You're good.
it, like, like is the back to the NCAA or back to your college, and the
Mhm.
conferences are trying. keep that from happening by telling the schools that, all right, you do that, you're going to get punished by our conference.
Yeah. Hunter, you got anything to put on the table? Okay. Yeah. So, Lark, high school football starts this week, Friday. I know you're gearing up for that. Because we know we got our high school scoreboard show coming up Friday night. So, what do you expect this season for all the high school games coming up?
Well, I normally do play by play for whatever game's being played by the Waco Independent School District at Waco ISD Stadium. But both Waco High and University are on the road to start off the new year. So I don't have a game on Friday, but I will be at the stadium or at the station to do the high school football scoreboard. And what's going to be interesting for me is some of the really top games from around the state of Texas that are going to be played. I believe that South Lake Carroll is playing Jinx, Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl on Thursday, no, tomorrow night, Thursday.
Hmm.
And there's also a meeting like for, I want to say, I don't have my list in front of me, but I want to say that Aledo is playing North Crowley, which ought to be a really good contest. But there's some really good matchups around the state. Yeah. I know. I think Duncanville went over to Florida, is going over to Florida again to play a Florida school. Last year, they went over and played like IMG Academy or tough schools over in Florida and lost their opener, against a stacked team, is all you can call that. But those are recruited high school players from not just the state country. So, it's always interesting to see how they stack up.
Right. And Tim, right.
Yeah.
Typical. Yeah. So typical Wildcats playing against Georgetown at UMHB Friday night. So that was a good contest for Temple to see where they at this year in football. And,
Well, also on Thursday night at UMHB, you've got Midway taking on Leander Rouse. So the Crusader Stadium, a couple of really good high school football games Thursday and Friday. There
mm,
is he? Yeah. There's also a game at Midway. I want to say it's like a 4A or 3A game, a couple of teams meeting halfway at Midway High School since Midway is not playing Friday night. That is, but there should be a pretty good game at Panther Stadium Friday night between a couple high school teams from around the state of Texas.
nice. Do you have any, Lord? Do you know any games that's kind of be a good matchup that you think that'd be a interesting, probably close to the end of the season, going to the playoffs?
Not right offhand. We had the UIL realignment this last year. Some teams went up, some teams went down. It's going to be interesting to see how DeSoto does in 5A as opposed to 6A. After winning a couple of 6A Division II championships, they go down a classification to 5A Division One. Waxahachie, this may be one of the last UIL alignments that they are a powerhouse because they're building a brand new high school on the south side of Waxahachie, going to be known as Waxahachie Creek. That's going to divide the talent in Waxahachie. They'll probably end up being two 4A schools, maybe a 5A and a 4A, but they're not going to be having to play the Duncanvilles and the Sotos of the world again. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens that comes around. But it's just always interesting every time the UIL reshuffles everything as to who's going to be in what uh, district, what region, things of that nature. Waco High and University were in District 10 of 5A Division II last year, which put them in Region 3, which matched them up against teams from Houston in the bi-district round. Now they're in District 8, which puts them in Region 2, and their first round in bi-district are going to be against some of the Dallas teams. So when we get toward the end of the year, it'll be interesting to see who's going to match up against who in that first round of the postseason.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, La Vega looks real good. I think Dave Campbell's Football Magazine has them ranked number 3 in their classification. Uh, Rosebud Lot is ranked in the top 10 in their classification. There's Robinson is, I think, also number 10. So they look pretty strong, but they're going to be in that with La Vega. China Spring has moved quote out district, and they're playing like Marble Falls and Stephenville and Brownwood. The state they moved up into 4A Division One, but they're not playing close by. It's going to be interesting to see how those bus rides are going to affect the Cougars this year. Plus, they got a brand new coach, brand new offensive coordinator, brand new defensive
mhm.
coordinator. It's a whole new ball of wax at China Spring this year. So it's going to be interesting to see how well the Cougars play.
Yeah, to me, I like to see how Lorena do this year too.
Yeah, Lorena's got a new
All right,
coach
go
as
ahead, Hunter.
well. It's and plus they dropped down from 4A Division Two to 3A Division One. Unfortunately, they're still in the same district with Franklin, so they still have to put up with that. But we'll see how
Wow.
numbers wise, according to their yeah numbers wise, they're going to be able to compete a little better than they did in 4A Division Two.
Hmm. Is Lane Belton is
What's that, Hunter?
go ahead, Hunter.
Talked to Martinez today, and he feels a lot better about his ball club. Number one, he has finally developed a quarterback and developed a quarterback room. When he got there, they really did not have a quarterback. And he's got a really good defense, solid offensive line. I know they went 0-10 last year, and so one win this year, improvement, but I think they'll be improved even beyond that. They're going to be much more competitive than they have been in the past. And I feel real good about the direction that Ezra Martinez is taking the Waco Lions. Yeah, yeah, he was the interim there when yeah, I mean, he turned them around and got them in the playoffs. I mean, he's been a coach, an assistant at Central Texas for years. He was over at University for a while. He was at Midway for those couple of years, and then got elevated to the head coaching job. He told me he had a choice to take either University or Waco High's job. He decided to take Waco High. It was a good challenge for him. He brought some really good coaches over with him from Midway. Lenoy Jones is over there helping him. Lenoy Jones was a great athlete over at Groesbeck, played at TCU. He's got his son Lane Jones on the team. He's just a sophomore this year, I think, either sophomore or junior, but he's one of their top players. And it's going to be fun to watch Lane Jones develop over the next couple of years. Yeah, they're going to be a lot more
Is
competitive.
Westmore start being
Repeat that, Cameron.
I was just saying, is Westmore start being like competitive this year since they're in East Texas and they can make a run for the state championship this year?
What team?
Westmore start.
Oh, West Orange Stark. Yeah, yeah, they're
Yes,
always in
sir.
there. I think Dave Campbell has them 4 or 5 to start the season. But yeah, the Mustangs are always going to be in the mix. They've got a great program going on over there. Uh, you know, La Vega the last 2 years in the most recent realignment. They ended up playing West Arden Stark not only during the season but also in the postseason. And lucky for, I'll say it's lucky, lucky for Don Hyde, he has not had to schedule some of those teams that he's had to schedule in the past. He's going to play at Waco ISD Stadium in back-to-back nights. He's going to take on University, I think, in one night, and then Waco High the next. I think Coach Martinez told me that's going to be the LT Classic when they take on La Vega. That's like 6 or 7 weeks into the season. But the thing that La Vega is fighting this year is the construction going on around their campus. They're not going to have a home game until they play, I believe it's Salado in week 7. So they're going to be a road team, but they're not going far. A couple of them are going to be right there at Waco ISD Stadium.
Hmm. Well, guys, got any questions to ask Hunter for Lark before we go? Okay.
Well,
Lark, got
Cameron,
any
I
memories about
appreciate.
any World Series? Lark, I got one question
Repeat
for you.
that. Okay.
What's your most memories in World Series that you know that you watch over the years?
Okay. Remember, I'm old. And I mentioned earlier the 1960 World Series between the New York Yankees and the Pittsburgh Pirates. I was in first grade when that occurred. That's 1960. I was in first grade. And I'm such a baseball fan. If you guys probably don't know this, but back then the World Series would start on a Tuesday and they played games at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And the very first game,
Hmm.
yeah, very first game of that particular series, my lunchtime at Lake Waco Elementary was from noon to 12:30. And whenever we were released from the room to go back to our room, I walked past the room and walked home, which was only about a mile away. I walked in the back door and my mother looked up and goes, "What are you doing here?" And I just pointed to the TV and said, "Ball game." And I sat down and started watching the Pirates and the Yankees. And about an hour, the phone rings. The principal at Lake Waco Elementary, Miss Green, she wants to know, we can't seem to find Lark. Do you know where he is? My mom said he's right here watching baseball. If I don't come pick him up, he's going to just walk home. Just realize that, while the World Series all fever and he's going to be here. So she let me watch all 7 games. Yeah, after that 7th game and after Mazeroski hit that home run, and I'll tell you, I still hate Bill Mazeroski for hitting that home run. My mother looked at me and pointed that crooked finger at me, and she said, "You do this again." So that's my big series.
Well, guys, thank you, Lark Smith, for your time tonight this evening. We thank you a lot. Thank you so much. We'll do it again with you this week, the rest of the year, if you want to do it with us, Lark.
Just holler at me anytime, Cameron. Thanks, Hunter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there. Thank you, Hunter. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Next time we see you again. Next time. Bye, y'all.